Hey, how's it going, everybody? Going for you gamers. And this is also a request video for Starblazers 1969. He wanted to see my Intellivison collection, so not a problem on that, dude. I just got my display all set up, so I've got the collection behind me there on shelves, so I can show all the systems. On games, all but one of my boxed games I've got packed away right now until I can find a way to display them on a shelf or whatever, so I won't be showing those, but we'll be showing the either the rarest or one of the rarest games for Intellivison that I own. It's one of those ones to where I'm very lucky to have it, and it is sealed in the box. And for anybody that's been watching my vids, I'm pretty sure by now you know which one I'm talking about. Otherwise, I'll show that when I show the systems. Anyways, right now, I've got my personal collection here of loose carts. These are all the ones that I just have to play. Ones that I don't plan on getting rid of. And I do have some good games here, as in my first game system when I was a kid was the Radio Shack Tandy Vision 1, so very familiar with Intellivison. And there are some games here that I didn't have as a kid, but a lot of them I did, this being one of them. Tron Deadly Disc. And most of these are red label. A lot of the Intellivison games are all red label. They did have some color variations, but it was usually like if it was a sequel, which Tron, red label, fun game. That was one of my favorites as a kid. It's one that takes advantage of the keypad. Another one that does have a second version of it. This is the one that's more easier to find. The other one seems to be not rare, but just hard to get your hands on for a good price. This is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and I'd have to pop it in the damn system, as in I believe this one has two different names that it's gone by. But it's the one where it shows like a map of the forest with trees and stuff, where to get through the trees you have to get the hatchet, and then you got a river or whatever, and stuff like that, to where you have to find the tool to get to the different points. And then you go to the different like mountains or volcanoes or whatever and explore the inside of them. And it's not 3D, that's the difference. The other one is a straightforward style type 3D RPG type game. Way better, way funner. That one's Dungeons and Dragons, Treasure of Tarman, and I believe it, like this one, it just says Advanced Dungeons and Dragons on the end of the cart. The difference is the label for that one is blue instead of red. Very good game if you can find it. That's one that I'm sought after because I had it as a kid and loved it. I would play that game for hours on end. Very good game if you like exploring stuff. Another one, and I've tried it. It's not bad. Pretty basic on the gameplay, but not bad. Stampede. And let's see, this one is by Activision. Locomotion. And I believe Locomotion is the one that's kind of a puzzle game where you've got the train going and you got to rotate the blocks, as in train tracks, to get them all lined up before the train crashes. Not bad if you like puzzle games. Star Strike, one of the greats, as in pretty much any game that starts with star or space on Intellivison, you're usually going to be happy. Most of them are pretty damn good. Star Strike's kind of a straightforward type shooter where you're just shooting UFOs and stuff. Space Armada, that is Intellivision's version of Space Invaders on the Atari, just better graphics. Mission X, that's another one to where I'd have to pop in the system so I can remember what the hell it was about. That's a lot of these I've gotten recently and really haven't had time to play them yet. Can't remember if it was one where I popped it in. It was like, am I having a freaking acid trip here, or is this a game? As in, I'm pretty sure some of these guys were smoking or snorting something back in the days, and some of these games, damn. Really weird on the way the gameplay, let alone the graphics. I've got some where the graphics are like, what the hell were they thinking? Anyways, it's Mission X. Lock and Chase, great maze game. Frog Bog. Cool game to have. One that's been shown a lot. If you get the Intellivison game for PS2 or Xbox or whatever, GameCube, Intellivison Lives, I believe that's one of them that's on that. It's one of the ones that just made the system. Shark. Another one, I played it a little bit, and it's not bad. Tron Mesotron. Even that it's one of the Tron games for Intellivison. Definitely were doing some acid or something when I came up with this one, because it's a weird game. I was never able to beat the game, let alone figure out how the hell I was supposed to play it when I was a kid, man. It was very confusing, but trippy. Has kind of weird music in the background that's kind of repetitive on the music, but not bad. And it's a side scroller. It's just you can't stop where you are, as in it's side scrolls, not just the background but your character, so you got to keep going on and getting past the obstacles within the time limit. The original Pitfall, Happy Trails, Space Battle, one of my favorite games as a kid. Really cool shooter game. Las Vegas Poker and Blackjack. For anybody who's had it in television from childhood, you know that that's the game that was the pack-in game for the system, kind of like Pac-Man or whatever for Atari 2600. And not a bad game for gambling. I played it to death before I started getting any other games. Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. Pretty damn good side-scrolling shooter for the Intellivison. My favorite game for the Intellivison, let alone favorite game of all time, Burger Time. Just love this game. I've got multiple ports of it. I've got multiple copies on Intellivison, including one that's boxed, just open box, and got it on ColecoVision where it's even better. ColecoVision and Nintendo, as in NES, it's closer to the arcade. This one, they did good on this for Intellivison. This is one of the best games you can get for that system, and one of the funnest. But I must admit, it is a lot easier to play this version compared to the other systems. As in, a little bit different on the graphics, but not too bad. On Atari, never had it. I've seen it, and I don't even want to look for it. Even that I do love this game. The Atari version looks like shit. But then a lot of the arcade ports to Atari 2600, man, some of them just really look crappy. Speaking of crappy, as in I didn't like this game back in the day, and I don't like it now on Intellivison, Donkey Kong by Coleco. This one, at least, is playable, as long as you can figure out exactly where you're supposed to stand and how far you can stand when you're jumping over something, as in it's really anal retentive on the gameplay. It's got to be precise on everything. Jumping, going up ladders, everything. But way better than the Atari version. The Atari version of Donkey Kong's horrible for the 2600. Parker Brothers Frogger, great game. This game, I believe I stuck this in my system. I don't think I have overlays for it, and another one where I thought I was on acid, Vectron, very weird game. Has nothing to do with the movie Tron. It's just a weird name. Bump and Jump, not a bad game. Now for the Intellivoice ones, I only have 3 of them so far. I haven't really found any others. Bomb Squad, good game to have in a collection, not the best game to play. That game used to piss me off as a kid, and I tried it for a little bit now that I have it, and same thing, it got me really annoyed. It's one of those ones to where you're being timed to do like a puzzle thing to solve the problem with the bomb and keep it from detonating, and it can be really annoying. But, like I say, worth having in a collection. Space Spartans, great game for the Intellivoice, very similar to Space Battle, just better on the graphics, has more to it. B-17 Bomber, another great game for the Intellivoice. The one that I'm really looking for is the Tron game, Tron Solar Sailor. I had that as a kid, I just like to have it again. but unfortunately it's one that's kind of scarce, so it can be pricey. But wasn't bad. Can't remember the exact gameplay, but it wasn't bad. Astro Smash, great game. Simple but fun. It's one where you just got the ship going back and forth and meteors coming down on you. I believe that is also on that Intellivision Lives game for PS2 and stuff. Space Hawk, not one of my favorites, but not a bad game. You got a little guy that flies around and it's a shooter thing, kind of like Asteroids. Night Stalker, good game, also on the 2600. This is one that I haven't really played much of. Magic. Got a nice little pile of Magic games, and Magic is one of the companies that made pretty damn good games for Intellivision and a lot of other systems. They really tried to push the graphics on a lot of the games, on how far they could go back then. This one, I just cannot remember the gameplay. Anyways, Ice Trek. Dragonfire, good game, also good on Atari. Beauty and the Beast, good game. Atlantis, one of my all-time favorites on Intellivision. This is one that I'd say second to Burger Time for me. I used to play this to death. I just love this game. I do have it on Atari also. I just like it better on Intellivision because there's more to it. This one I do not have a label on it. It says Swords and Serpents, and mind me, I've got it somewhere hidden in my brain, but it's very similar to an arcade game, to where it's like you're looking at a maze, like a Dungeons and Dragons type thing, and you got your guy that you move around. Just can't think of the damn name of the game, man. It's in my head, but it's not, the right name's not coming up. I remember it had multiple characters, like elf, sorcerer, or whatever. Very similar to that, just not as fun. Pretty damn boring. You're not actually shooting at anything with your character. You've got him holding his sword straight out, which looks kind of weird. My sick mind, but if you played the game, you'll know on the weirdness thing. And then you have to literally run into the bad guys with your sword instead of swinging it at them or whatever. And it gets pretty repetitive, but not a horrible game. Demon Attack, good game. Top-down type shooter. Truckin', I've got the loose cart. I've also got it boxed. It seems to be one that's kind of scarce, especially boxed. And tried just the one time to test the cart, and it's kind of like a truck driving type simulation, to where you're delivering stuff and whatever at a time limit. Not really my kind of game. Microsurgeon, I think I had it as I was a kid, man, and I never really played it much. I don't remember playing it, and once I took a look at it again, it's like an acid trip. Very weird game. This one, it doesn't have a picture, it just says the name and then has the rainbow magic pattern. Nova Blast, very fun game on the Intellivision, especially if you like Defender. Very similar to Defender on the gameplay. And Pac-Man. I think somebody told me in a comment or something on this one that this was one to where you had to order it. You couldn't just go to the store and buy it. I don't think, because it looks like a generic cart. It's just white label Pac-Man, and it's a very good port of Pac-Man. Another great game, similar to Pac-Man for the Intellivision by Coleco, Ladybug. So that's all my loose personal collection. I'll put this thing on hold so I can get turned around here and get my cord out of the way, and I will show you guys the systems now that I'm into damn near 15 minutes. Yes, this is going to be a long vid, but it'll be worth it. Alright guys, try and get situated here so I can see the damn computer. Alright, this is the one that I just got restored / upgraded, as in I did do some subtle changes on it, or maybe not subtle, because every time I look at it I'm drooling. Love this system. This is the Sears Super Video Arcade Telegame System, their version of an Intellivison. And right off the bat, not going to show you yet, but if you look at the bottom here on the ends, if I have this one sideways, they all look alike from the bottom, as in I was right. This is the only one where they made a slight change on the innards, but basically all of them are the bottom half of an original Model 1 Intellivison, and then they just changed the top half. This one, pretty much the only major change was reporting the controllers there, as in, what's really cool about the Sears system, these unplug. Just like a Sega, Nintendo, whatever, which is very cool. It's like being able to have the old system and the Model 2, which you can unplug the controllers from, all in one. And I just absolutely love the look of this. This is definitely the favorite out of all of them, even that this isn't the one I grew up with. I'm to the point to where, I believe I said this in the last video, if I had a choice between all these different ones when I was a kid, I would have gone for this. It is just a very beautiful looking system. And if you guys want to see it in a better shade of light to where I can show it off better on what I did, check out my last vid where I show what I restored on it with paint. As in, it was the back of it here to where the original paint was coming off, as in breaking down, getting all nasty, so sanded it down and just really made it look nice with some automotive paint. So that is that one. Yeah, I'm ready to go out and get another cam. This cam's pissing me off. I got light shining right on this, man, but any little spot of shade makes it just want to go dark. But this one's got a really, really beautiful wood grain texture on the front of it, and that's one of the things I touched up. Everything but the controllers, I hit all of this up with high gloss automotive paint, so this front panel here looks really pretty now. So that's a Sears. We go up to the top here and show you this game for probably the third time. This is the official Turbo by Sega for Intellivison, and no, I didn't get it for $12.99 at KB's. I got this for $1 when I got my Intellivison 2, and sealed box. This was the only one that was sealed. All but, actually, I think I did get one other that was sealed. It was a sports game, maybe baseball or something. This game is worth an insane, and I mean friggin' nerd-ass insane amount of money, because of just the fact that I think it didn't sell too good. Because they also have this for ColecoVision. I have it. I can't play it because I don't have the driving controller, but it is more like the arcade on ColecoVision. This, it's damn near unplayable. I think that's why they don't show the graphics either, man. They just show the arcade unit like, oh, you're getting the official arcade game here, and that's bullshit. It is absolutely horrible. So I'm thinking that's why it's so rare, because nobody wanted to buy it back then. So not many out there. So if you guys spot this, even just the cartridge out in the blue, you got some cash, snag it and hold on to it for a while. As in on Atari2600.com, he still has 3 loose carts of this, and I believe they are at least $35 a piece just for the cartridge. No instructions, no box, just the cartridge and the overlays, I believe. Or maybe not even the overlays. I've seen those occasionally on eBay by themselves, and they are expensive. So, one to hunt for. This one, I just checked eBay, and the highest price I can find until it sells, I have no idea how much it's going to go for, but it had like 3 bids, and it was opened, not sealed in the box, and it was already almost up to $80. And I think the last one I saw that was sealed, it was like $300, $400, way up there. Now, as you can see here, I've got joysticks mounted on this one. These are the little sticklers that I picked up. Going to be installing these on the Intellivison. Was going to put them on the Sears, but as you can see, it just looks too good without them. I don't want to change anything about it other than my paint job. So, also I'm going to be possibly modding these to make them look more like ball top joysticks. These, he must have gotten a case of these or something, because he seems to always have them, and they're like $7 a box, and they're brand new. These are the best I have found for Intellivison. You literally open up the controller, and I do have a vid showing that, and just swap it out for the disc. You don't do anything that you can't restore back to original. Now he has had clamped on ones that literally clamp over the top of the controller. Those absolutely suck. And for some reason they're always more expensive. But I had those as a kid and I hated them. If you played any games, especially like Burger Time, the damn things wanted to come off the controller. So if you can get a pair of these, if you really want joysticks, snag them. Anyways, got the box for my Intellivison. And this is an original 1970s, I believe either a 78 or 79 model Intellivison, one of the first ones that came out. And there is a definite difference between this and the later ones, and I'm not talking about this. It has to do with the controllers. Right here, where the side buttons are, this part of the plastic on the system itself is recessed. So it's not pressing against the side buttons when you put the controllers in like that. That's all they changed. And they also did that on the Intellivison by Radio Shack. So that's that system. Got my Intellivison Model 2. And there's two different variations on this that I've seen. The different one, and I believe that's what I had as a kid, and that's the one he's got for sale, has a red stripe going along this area where the top and bottom pieces meet. That's the only difference. Maybe a slight difference on the keypad too. I cannot remember. This one, it's got kind of a lifted texture where it's the squares around each number to where you can feel for the numbers. I'm thinking maybe the other one you can't. And got the Intellivison plugged into that just to show you that you can. And on this, a lot of people question on this because they got the volume thing right on it for the dial. This does not have a speaker in it. It is set up to where when you got your game going, if you got a game to where this is turned up full blast and it's starting to drown out the sound effects on the game or whatever, you can get it to where the voice is fairly quiet or really loud, depending on how you like it. And it goes through your TV. So it's just a cool little thing they added to it to make it that much better. Okay, now both of these systems, the Radio Shack and this Intellivison, are both 1981 systems. And I don't know if you guys can tell there. Yeah, right above my finger there. It's not that much of a recessed area. It's just enough to where it's not pushing on the buttons. So, something cool. And then these little stickler joysticks. They are nice that you can switch it out back to normal if you want, because I've noticed that some games, like Burger Time, I really like them. Other games, I like the disc better, so depends on the type of gameplay. Then on differences here between the two. Goddamn this cam. See every goddamn spot where there's a slight amount of shade. Anyways, as you can see, gold, wood grain. That's the only major change they did. If you open these up, they look identical on the inside. So, not too much difference on looks between the two. I do like the Radio Shack one better. The wood grain just makes it look that much more retro and matches up with the sides, as in the side areas. Can't see that with a shit either. Anyways, that's all wood grain. Same texture. So, before I make this video insanely long, that's pretty much it for my collection. There are other types. I believe there were other Intellivison clones and stuff. I've even seen some to where it looks like a Model 1 and it's got the games built into it. And those were in different countries and stuff, like poor countries, to where they just totally, kind of like a copyright protection failure. And then the one that I haven't seen, and he occasionally has had one on Atari2600.com. They did come out with an Intellivison 3 system, which I believe is just, let's see, yeah, they did it black. I think it has the gold. I cannot remember. I haven't seen one in a while, but it says NTV System 3 or whatever. Controllers are kind of a mix between the Model 1 and the Model 2. The keypad isn't as good. It doesn't have the raised up bubble type keys to where you can feel out what button you're pushing. And then I believe the discs are black. Just a little bit different on the variation. Don't know if they improved it on the innards at all. I cannot remember when the third Intellivison came out. Never saw any advertising on it when I was a kid, so I don't know. So, put this back on. A nice little putty cat picture, or two drug addict cat picture. And say goodbye to you guys. Feel free to comment as usual. Later. Or not. Cam's a piece of shit.